All right, and we're back with another episode of UFC Main Event Pick'em Show, and this time we have the heavyweights Derrick Lewis taking it on the undefeated Tallison Teixeira. So let's get into this fight. Derrick Lewis is on a bit of a losing streak. He lost to Tai Tuivasa, Sergey Pavlovich, Sergey Spivak. Then he beat Marcos Rogerio de Lima, lost to Jailton Almeida, and beat Rodrigo Nascimento. And now he's fighting another Brazilian, I guess his fourth in a row, in Tallison Teixeira. So Tallison Teixeira, he's undefeated. He's only 25 years old. He is 6'7", 201 centimeters, with a 211 centimeter reach. So very tall, very long arms. And we compare that to Derrick Lewis, who is 191 centimeters, so a full 10 centimeters shorter than his opponent, and 201 centimeters in reach, 10 centimeters shorter in reach as well. Derrick Lewis is 40. His opponent is 25. I think that's going to be a big factor. Let's talk about Derrick Lewis a little bit. So he actually fought his way all the way to a title shot against Cyril Gane. He beat Blagoy Ivanov by split decisioned Ilir Latifi, knocked out Alexei Olenek, knocked out Curtis Blades. Then he lost to Cyril Gane in a title eliminator bout. And then he's been on this kind of purgatory middle ground in the heavyweight division where he's beating guys that are bad, and losing to guys that are also kind of bad but kind of good at the same time, versus Tallison Teixeira. So he's obviously undefeated, has a bunch of wins against just super old opponents that suck. His opponents are not good. 4-15. I guess he beat this guy who's 6-1. That's a good opponent. Then he gets into the UFC and knocks out Justin Tafa in the first round. He also knocked out Arthur Lopez on the Contender Series, which is his first real good opponent. He was also 6-0 at the time. So you have an undefeated guy versus Derrick Lewis. Now, I think that it's fair to say that Derrick Lewis has been somewhat figured out in this division. Rodrigo Nascimento was able to get him to the ground in round 1 and round 2, winning those rounds, but then losing the fight ultimately by getting knocked out. Jailton Almeida was able to beat Derrick Lewis by doing the same thing and just not getting knocked out. Marcos Rogerio de Lima was trying to do the same thing, but he got knocked down in round 1. Sergey Spivak did the same thing. Sergey Pavlovich and Tai Tuivasa kind of just toughed it out on the feet and knocked out Derrick Lewis. Cyril Gane, he's the one that kind of wrote the playbook on this. He used push kicks to the body on Derrick Lewis, and then he basically just stuck to the mantra of you have to be either all the way out to avoid his big power shots or all the way in so that you smother those power shots and they can't land effectively. And I think that his opponent, Tallison Teixeira, can do the same thing. So against Tai Tuivasa, Tallison Teixeira, or not Tai Tuivasa, Justin Tafa. Against Justin Tafa, Tallison Teixeira was able to land some good side kicks to Justin Tafa's leg and body, and also push kicks to the body. Those are going to be great weapons that he can use against Derrick Lewis. And he was also able to get in on a takedown, and then in the clinch, he was able to land good knees and an elbow that ultimately brought the fight to a close. We've seen Derrick Lewis suffer to similar strategies. Once again, Cyril Gane utilized the clinch. He was landing elbows on Derrick Lewis. Tai Tuivasa knocked Derrick Lewis out with an elbow. Derrick Lewis is weak. He's susceptible to kicks to the body, front kicks to his body, teeps to his body, side kicks to his body. Cyril Gane was able to use that to great effect on Derrick Lewis. Derrick Lewis he's a one-note fighter. That note is his power. That note is when he decides to throw. If he connects, then that's good night for his opponents. However, I think he's been a bit figured out. I think he's been slowing down in his fights. He's been less willing to throw. You can see in his last performance against Rodrigo Nascimento, he had this knockout in round 3. But what the hell was he doing in those first 2 rounds? He was just letting his opponent control him, pressing him up against the cage. Rodrigo Nascimento is not a good striker. Marcos Rogerio de Lima is not a good striker. They don't have good defense. They don't use their arms to defend incoming shots. They don't move their head off the center line. Tallison Teixeira does both of those things. He's still a young guy, but he actually has head movement. He actually will use that left arm as an active jab and then will also guard up with it, similar to what Dustin Poirier does with his Philly shell. I think that Tallison Teixeira has the tools required to beat Derrick Lewis. I think he has the will and the energy to continuously throw those jabs, those teep kicks, press Derrick Lewis up against the cage, grind on him in the clinch, slamming knees to his stomach, slamming elbows to his head. I think that Tallison Teixeira is going to win this fight by decision, and that's going to be my official prediction. I haven't looked at the odds. I would say Tallison Teixeira is maybe like a minus 250 favorite. I think a lot of people have high hopes for him. Let's take a look at this CBS. Teixeira enters as the favorite. Okay, so we can't see here. Teixeira enters as the favorite at minus 310. Wow. So a lot of people are leaning on him. I wouldn't go that far, but I do think that he should be a sizable favorite, like 250, 200 to 250. Anyway, guys, let me know what you thought of this fight, and everyone enjoy the fights.